So we reached the halfway point of the Red Bull Air Race World Championship here in Windsor, Ontario. We're going to move from North America to the European legs of the Tour. That's, of course, in Budapest, Porto and Barcelona. So what we've done for you, we've gathered the best of Britain. Of course, Steve Jones is always with us, but we've brought together Nigel and Paul Bonhomme to look back at the first half of the Tour and look forward to the second. Paul, I want to ask you the first question. Is it going the way you want it to go? And what do you think about the rest of the world that also seem to be raising the bar pretty drastically and dramatically this season?
It is going well for us. You know, two seconds and a first. In hindsight, the aerodynamic mods we made, maybe not the way to go with the start speed limit. Maybe we should just go for power. And it's clear that some other guys have gone for power, and that is paying off. So it's going to be an interesting, remainder of the season.
And how would you sum up your first part of the season, Nigel? Because we've seen glimpses of brilliance. We've seen glimpses where you could be the fastest in the world by a long, long way, but the consistency that you strive for seems to evade.
Yeah, I suppose it does, you know, and I must say I've had a very disappointing start to the season, although it's the best start I've ever had. So, you know, it's kind of mixed. But I'll tell you what has really, really come home to me is that it is so competitive that you've got to be looking for 0.1, 0.2 on each sector to really have a chance. And if you back off anywhere, it's very easy to back off everywhere. So we've got a lot more to do on our aeroplane, and maybe we'll be slightly stronger in the second half of the season.
Paul, the man that you've got to beat and the man that's been tearing it up again this season like he did last is Hannes Ark.
Yeah, I personally think Hannes has got some pretty clever trickery under his bonnet, if you like. You know, that engine is producing a lot of power. Especially when you look at the aeroplane is not that, it's just basically a bog standard edge when you look at it. So fortunately he fell over with a penalty today, which I hope was a sign. I haven't seen the video. I hope that was a sign that he was flying hard and flying on the limit. And I think it's good that we're putting the pressure on him.
And of course, the next question, Nigel, from a technical perspective, is the Edge 540s are still 1, 2 and 3 at the top of the world standings. You're a man that flies the MXSR. What's the progress? What's the thoughts? Is that the right plane to take a championship title?
That's a very, very difficult question, one I think about a lot. And I think we have started late with the MX, so there's still quite a lot more you can do with the MX, and it's going to take us time to get there. These things take time. I mean, we've got one aerodynamic modification which has taken us 9 months to get ready to maybe put on, and that's the nature of the game. It's not an overnight thing, and the Edge has been around for a long time. So we've definitely got a game of catch up. But I did think that we had kind of almost caught up, but these guys keep surprising us.
Do you think that the guys with the MXSRs are running the same trick engines that some of the guys in the Edges are flying?
The two guys who've done what basically they've changed their engines were Mike Goulian and Kirby Chambliss. Kirby has come from so far behind. I mean, 5 seconds out of 70 is a massive percentage. How to get that from just changing the engine shows you the difference between, you know, the top end and having a mediocre engine. I think we're all going to be focused very much now on what on earth do we do to get more power.
And Paul, for you, those last 3 races of the season, obviously it's England v Austria, it's Bonhomme Ark. We're going to be screaming and shouting for another 3 races yet. You're just going to stick with the same plan, or is there something special that you saved to spook him in those last 3 races?
Well, we've Wade and Jim and the guys are working away, always trying to think of new ways of getting the airplane to go faster. But personally, I'm just going to turn up and I'm going to enjoy racing. And there are various things you can do to go fast, but it seems to me that's the way to go, and that's what I'm going to do, and we'll just hope for the best.
Steve, what's your advice for these guys going into Porto? Because I remember you winning that one quite nicely not too many years ago.
Yeah, I've got very fond memories of Porto. I seem to do very well there, but then, you know, all these guys reckon it was because it was such a simple track. You know, even I could do it. But I don't know. I would say it's going to favour the aeroplanes that are fast in a straight line. I think Bonham's yours is pretty quick in a straight line, isn't it? And what do you reckon, Nigel?
Considering what we did in the winter in terms of power and weight, which is enormously important, somewhere along the line we've got an aerodynamic problem, because straight line speed is not much more than it was last year, and certainly I think we've got several knots to try and find before we get to a straight line track like Porto, where, you know, what you can do in straight and level is very, very important.
One final question, gentlemen. Predictions for the 2009 World Championship standings. That's 1, 2 and 3. And I'd like to go first by saying Paul Bonhomme first, Hannes Ark second, Nigel Lamb third. Steve, your call.
I go for Bonhomme first, Ark second, and I'm going to go, well, that's a difficult one, isn't it? I'll go for Matt Hall.
Nigel.
I can't go Lamb first, of course, but I'm gonna go for Paul Bonhomme first, Hannes Ark second, and Lamb third.
I'm going to go somebody will be first, someone else will be second, and somebody else other than those two will be third.
Gentlemen, it's been a thrilling first half of the season. Thank you very much.